With Arsenal drawing 2-2 at home to Villa on Saturday evening and falling further behind Liverpool in the title race, and still no January transfer signings 3 weeks in, and we've got more injuries than an A&E ward, it's looking like desperate times for Arsenal at the moment. Arsenal becoming like this mathematical conundrum where you can't work out the equation on who to blame anymore. Like, where do you pinpoint the blame? Do you put the blame on Arteta? Do you put the blame on the players? Do you put the blame on the Cronkies? I mean, or do you just blame them all? Put them into one box and blame them all. The thing is, on Saturday, you can't fault the players for the performance. They played out of their skins. But the thing is, they've played 3 games in 1 week, and these are three big, massive games at the end of the day. You've got Man United in the FA Cup, you've got Spurs in a big North London derby. I know Spurs are pretty poor at the moment, but form goes out the window in North London derbies. And then obviously Villa at home, where they always seem to take points off us. They always throw a spanner in our title challenge. From being 2-0 up at home to Villa, absolutely cruising. I'm not thinking they're coming back. I'm thinking, right, we've got one over Emery this time, to then absolutely collapsing in the space of 6 minutes and throwing the game away. That's not acceptable. And obviously, the reason why this is happening is because the squad is not big enough. The squad is not good enough to compete in a 38-game season on top of all the cup competitions. It's just not big enough, and it's not good enough. You saw the state of the bench at home to Villa. Sterling was our only player we could have brought on, and that says it all really, because he's on terrible. We're bringing on someone who has got zero confidence because we can't bring on no one else. Now, if you look at Liverpool, that game against Brentford, that could have gone either way. I watched that game; it could have gone either way, right? And then who do they bring on? They're bringing on Darwin Núñez, £80 million man, and he's a game changer. And that's the difference. The difference is the size of the squads and the quality in the squads. And Arsenal's squad, mixed with the injuries, haven't helped us, but that's part of the game at the end of the day. You've got to account for injuries. Obviously, we've lost Saka, we've lost Saliba, we've lost Jesus. And this is obviously taking a big toll on the team. But we haven't got no one to replace them, and we're sitting around prancing about in this January transfer market like nothing's happened. Are they going blind? What's going on? Like they're going on like we've got no injury crisis. This is the only chance we're going to get to rectify this, right? And the thing is, at the start of the transfer window, yeah, we probably would have got away with just signing one striker maybe, and we would have been happy. But now you're going to need more than one striker to change our season. You're going to need a striker. You're going to need maybe a defender. Well, I don't know why we need more defenders, but the thing is, he doesn't want to play Kivior. So I mean, do we need defenders? And I'm fed up with Partey being throwing at right back. Stop throwing Partey right back. He's our best holding midfielder. Scrap that. He's our best midfielder this season, and we're changing the team around. Putting Partey right back. Our best. Just stick anyone else. I don't care who it is. Just leave Partey where he is, for Christ's sakes. We've got less than 2 weeks to bring in at least 3-4 players. Is that going to happen while we're prancing about not doing nothing 3 weeks into this transfer market? We ain't signed no one, and we can't even field a first 11 at the moment. Never mind the bench. We've got no depth in our first team, let alone squad depth. So what is going on? We need to you need to start thinking about what we're going to do. Whether you're going to bring in players on loan, go and sign this Victor Osimhen. Just go and pay the money now. Forget long term. All I hear is, we're getting Zubimendi at the end of the season. We're getting Gyökeres at the end of the season. If we're going to sign Sesko, we're going to get him at the end of the season. What about the short term right now? Who are we getting right now? Please tell me, enlighten me. Who are we getting now to sort out the problem? Because if this carries on, we'll drop out the top four. We keep dropping. I mean, the worst part is, we've only lost 2 games this season. That's not bad in 21 games, really, if you think about it. But it's the 8 draws, and the draws are coming when we're winning the game, and we end up drawing the game all the time. Now that says to me that our players are tired. They can't see out games. That's what's going on. We haven't got the squad depth to replace. And I'm not just talking about any old, you can't just keep bringing on youngsters. We need Premier League prime players, tried and tested in the Premier League, that you can bring on and see out a game. Because clearly we can't see out a game. We just can't see out any games. The 8 draws, and most of them draws have come from winning positions. So if you tallied if you tallied them draws up, say you know, them 4 or 5 of them draws, right? Say 4 or 5 of them that you saw out the game and you won it. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points, 10 to 12 points. We would have been, so that would have pushed us up to past the 50 point mark, top of the league. But again, it's just because we haven't got the squad depth to see out games. This is the problem, and this is what I'm trying. This is why I can't. I don't know who to blame anymore. I just don't know who to blame. It's maybe no. Like I feel like one week there's someone to blame, the following week there's no one to blame, and then the next week there's someone to blame. But you just can't pinpoint the problems. Now, you know, like I said, like, you can't expect the squad we've got to be competing on all fronts. You can't expect them to not get tired and injured. They just have not got the depth to challenge and fight on all fronts, on all the Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League. Just ain't got the squad to do it, right? So who do we blame for that? At the start of the season, don't no one look at? So who looks at the squad? Listen, I'm not involved in football. I'm just your average football fan. Yeah, I play a bit of Football Manager, but I don't know the ins and outs of a football club, and that's me being real. There's no one look at this at the start of the season. Is there no like sort of analysis? Right, here's your squad, right? Right, where do we go from here? If we finished second, but we lost out by a point, where's the next step now? Right? There's no one look at that squad and think, maybe we need a striker, and then look at that squad and think, maybe the bench ain't good enough. Like if Bukayo gets injured, who's going to replace him? If Odegaard gets injured, who's going to replace him? If Saliba gets injured, who's going to replace him? Does no one sort of look at maybe look at your three top players, right, and think, right, if they get injured, who comes in? Because it doesn't look like that to me. I mean, the fact that Thomas Partey is playing at right back sort of says it all to me. That says it all at the end of the day. Like that hurts when I see Thomas Partey at right back. I feel sorry for the geezer. You know, I mean, what a player, and he tries his best. But when he's in that midfield, oh my God, he's been a class act this season. But who do you pinpoint the blame at? Because someone needs to be held accountable. Is it because? Is it the board? Yeah, but and then you think, well, you know, the Cronkies, they're a pain in our arses, the Cronkies. If you look at it, they've given Arteta over £700 million to go and do what he's got to do. Then you think, all right, is it Arteta now? Is he good enough? Is he ruthless enough to get us over the line and win trophies? And well, clearly he's not at the moment. But is it Arteta? I don't know. Like, you know, obviously we have seen progress, but progress, you know, this season should have been winning trophies now. Like, how long does the process last? Like, is there a time limit on this process? Because we could be saying it's about the process. I mean, this process could be a 20-year process by the looks of it. I mean, where does it stop at the end of the day? Where does this process stop? And you've got to look at it again. I don't want Arteta out right now. I think that is just going to be so counterproductive to sack Arteta now. You know, end of the season, if we haven't won any trophies, his job's got to be looked at, right? I mean, again, I don't want to have to blame Arteta for this, but then you think he's come in now and like Edu's left because he doesn't like the power Arteta has. Has Arteta gone power crazy? It's got to his head. Listen, there's a saying: with great power comes great responsibility, and Arteta's not really showing the responsibility part. He's gaining all this power at Arsenal, but he's not really showing any responsibility with it, because he's had 800 million to spend, and he ain't really bought in a striker with that money, not replaced Aubameyang. So who do we blame? Is it Arteta? And then you look at the players we've got. Are they to blame? They're not showing any sort of consistency at the moment. Are they good enough to compete in the Premier League? Are they good enough to win us a Champions League? I'm looking at it now thinking, we've got some good players there, but are they? But I don't know. Again, I play Football Manager, but that's about it. But like one week we're fantastic, the next week we're not fantastic, and that's down to the squad depth. If you like this video, hit up the like button. Like, we hope Arteta's gonna hit up this transfer market, and subscribe to Sports Almanac. Cheers for watching.